Azernach videos. Hey Azernach, curious about this name you have. Anyway, I just finished reading your notes on acceptism via the http://azernach.home.comcast.net/logic_and mathematics/obscure metaphysics.htm.
If you have more, that would be great. If you have more, that would be great after reading it. I'm not certain if these paragraphs outline acceptism or if the viewer is to accept what you have done without going on rigorous searches. And just reading this, I'm not certain about acceptism as a field, class, or how you've defined it. Perhaps you can elaborate, Azernach, or perhaps one is just to accept acceptism. Now, I have much to say and could probably make some clips ordered to post and or just write to you like this. The YouTube freedom is great and I'd prefer a video response, so perhaps I'll focus here on video response. You mentioned that you don't know what I'm asking of you. Well, okay then I'll let that remain. I am asking, am I telling? I've asked a few things of you, and perhaps you found them abstract and simply intriguing. Perhaps it's the lack of getting yourself around my videos that has you not responding, and that's fine, Azernach, if you don't know how. But after searching Wittgenstein on the YouTube just to see what came up, I witnessed lots of cool videos, including your own, and I spent hours watching your videos. What caught me was not what you knew, but where you were, where you paused, and where you stumbled, and where you made statements that seemed thought out, but they also didn't seem confident. And at these weak points, like a predator, I wanted to attack. Yeah, attack. And I'm not in the world of social propriety. YouTube seems to have room for all of our temperaments. So I felt it necessary to both take assessment of your positions as well as note your mannerisms, both vocal and physiological. What I noticed was a friend, well, an old friend who's since fallen out of my circles, and you as a class, meaning I've seen a few people who hold themselves and work through their body's expression in ways like your own. Notice I didn't say not unlike your own. It would seem that I discovered a type of person who in such circumstances yields these postures, manners, histrionics, or a type of person who comes from a like background who yields these features, or just simply a type of a person whose casual circumstances are not important. It was here that I wanted to get back to you about your pagan roots, because, well, you mentioned pagan roots. Hang on. Pagan roots. Put on some clothes if you get over here. And perhaps the traditions of 12 types of people might awaken you to find your being within this tried and tried signs, patterns, trends of people whose being is history, whose being as many past cultures do, and I see that echo in the future visual expressions. Anyway, on to the next. This other person, Edge, also taught logic and presented a type of pious, overhanded, precocious demeanor about himself like you do. His favorite myth was Daedalus and Icarus, and their hands at escaping the mountain and failed success and success failed. In any case, you ring or thud or bore with the same expressions and intonations, and it drives me a tad bit batty and crazy. It's seemingly pious, and I understand that you think of your own doing and becoming as its own. I think it's an offshoot of a type of a person in a type of a circumstance. More precisely, an abused or abuser finding themselves caught up in meaning of it all and coming out of not just the Western canon of thought, but more coming throughout an authorized canon. It is in this canon of thought, but more coming throughout an authorized canon. It is in this canon, this tendency to rely and relay others' words in a way simply to avoid plagiarism. And plagiarism charges, but not so much so to glibly call my own like you have, which is bullshit. You're caught up in the read and regurgitate that you simply can't tell the difference, which I might add is what a professor dreams of a student, is to not just be regurgitating, but to actually have something of your own. But at this stage, your internal thoughts on this will not allow these demeaning statements against you to hold any validity because your mind is too sweeping and knowledgeable and without the straining capabilities to perhaps grasp that your personages falls and your person falls into any category. You don't think it falls into any category. You think you're completely unique other than your own person. And it's your own being. It's individual and obviously without like nor kind. Well, you're still young, buddy. And it seems that absurdism, your school of thought, has more availability, viability, as I've read so far. It seems that you have found a collapse of sorts to generalize that which is absurd or could be called absurd. So I'm not really sure, Azernach, whether or not you're writing about this, talking about this on YouTube is carving out any new field, but it does seem, with your preconditions, to hold a degree of reductionary efficiency within the read itself. So you're stating that acceptism is a new sort of philosophical psychology following that, again, my own creation, as you say, does not make it so. So just because you state it does not make it so. Well, on other than within the confines of the stating. Okay, you've stated it and that makes it your own. Well, matter of factly, it has no establishment. It's not Googled. And as of yet, if it is to have any at all, any establishment at all, but I wish you well getting it on the map. Perhaps I wouldn't be so belittling if you technically released and shared with me and the public the sort of philosophical psychology, the sort of philosophical psychology it was, and its need and application and base. So my old buddy's big push was for moral deconstruction, not just pulling apart mind and its behavior, but making certain, God damn it!
You didn't get me any fine woman.
Grrr. So anyway, if I can digress, I think you're bright and have absorbed much of what you know well and that you argue fairly well. It would almost be a pity for you not to make philosophy a major minor, actually. I can see that you show promise with creative writing as well. Now, you can shave your beard, Azernach. I shave mine. And I have a double chin. And you're keeping yourself primped for who? Curious. What do you care? Taking me seriously, well, this is what I meant when I mentioned dropping the chakra, shaving your beard and eyebrows. Perhaps all of your self-consumed audience would come out to play if you did this. That Adjernauts audience would give it to you as you to yourself. And although you don't think that our ideas are perhaps benign and can't take us anywhere we don't want to go, I banter on the law of identity. And I'll have a juicy clip on this in the near future. Now, I think that you should know that your mind is all you've got to keep you here and take you there, etc. And loss of identity, loss of reason, of ration, and of sense, getting to the great abyss, which you so yearn to face but are not facing currently. Knowing that life in your life handles oh so much and